Hi, I'm David Wheeler, and welcome to Women in Wildlife, our virtual edition. I'm the Executive Director of Conserve Wildlife Foundation, and I'm so glad you were able to join us tonight. I want to first thank PSEG, our presenting sponsor, as well as all of you for making tonight possible. Conserve Wildlife Foundation for the past 2 decades has worked to protect at-risk and rare wildlife across New Jersey and beyond. Our biologists and scientists have worked in the field conducting surveys, monitoring wildlife populations, restoring habitat, everything we can do to make sure these species have a future in New Jersey. Our educators, naturalists, and multimedia specialists have worked hard as well, connecting people to the incredible wildlife and nature all around us. And so much of the wildlife that we see in New Jersey is unexpected for so many people. New Jersey, our reputation, we're the most densely populated state in the country, and our reputation, of course, precedes us. And whether that's good or bad, I'll leave up to you. But the reality is New Jersey has more biodiversity and diverse habitats than just about anywhere in the country our size. And the fact that we have these thriving ecosystems and these wildlife populations that have managed to hang on and in some cases thrive and recover is a testament to the leaders, and particularly the female leaders in our conservation movement here in New Jersey that have made such a difference and continue to make an impact today. Tonight, we're going to get the chance to recognize so many of these leaders from the past 15 years of Women in Wildlife. And granted, if you're anything like me, you approach tonight thinking, oh, it would be so nice to be in person, to be at one of the Women in Wildlife gatherings at Duke Farms or another venue, where we can experience the camaraderie of having that hearty greeting, that warm laughter, and getting to share a laugh with old friends and colleagues, getting to have that great food and the tasty spirits to make the night all that much better. And of course, to hear the inspiring words of not only the women we've honored each year, but also the keynote speakers every year. And all of that, we're missing it. But it's 2020 and we're going to make the best out of what's a very unique situation. And I think we're going to be all pleasantly surprised with what we have on tap tonight. Over the next 45 minutes, this special night will bring you a number of different things. We're going to hear from 3 of our Women in Wildlife honorees on what being impacted, but what being honored for this award meant to them, and emotionally, how much resonance it had with them, how much it made them feel connected as part of this incredible sisterhood of Women in Wildlife champions. We're going to hear from 3 current biologists as well, talking about how the impact of those honorees over the years, as they continue to do their work and build on their legacy, has impacted them so much personally and in the work they do and the wildlife they work to protect. We're going to watch a professionally produced short video that takes us through the whole Women in Wildlife evolution from the start of the environmental movement a few decades ago to all the progress that's been made and the wholly different landscape we have here in New Jersey over the past few decades. And of course, what would a virtual event be without some interactive fun as well? Where, of course, we have the online auction that's going on as we speak, and we'll be continuing through Sunday. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And we have some really fun trivia games for you tonight, and where you can, even more importantly, win some prizes. And why not start there? Let's start with some trivia. And the rules are somewhat straightforward, but basically we're going to have 3 rounds of trivia. With each round, you're going to answer the questions in an email and send it to us. We have a special email set up for tonight's event. It's called trivia@conservewildlifenj.org. And so for each round, so if you're participating all the way through, which we hope you will do, you're going to send us 3 different emails, each one with the winner. And let's start right now with the very first round. And our first round of our trivia contest, which of course is called Wildlife in Jeopardy, in honor of the late Alex Trebek, who we sadly lost this past week. But this first round is called Wildlife. And I know you're all thinking to yourself, wow, how did they come up with that one? Amazing that, and I got to tell you, we brainstormed for weeks trying to figure out the name of this first category. We held focus groups, everything we could do to just get that name right, and we came up with Wildlife. So we're thrilled to be able to bring you this first round. And without further ado, let's start with that first question. So as you can see, the first question has to do with the peregrine falcon, the fastest animal on Earth, and one that many of you may be very familiar with, intimately familiar, I should say, through our Falcon webcams, the longest running active wildlife webcams in Jersey City, and the newer one in Elizabeth. And the first question, as you can see, what is the diving speed of a peregrine falcon? So that's question number one. What is the diving speed of a peregrine falcon? It's a range, so if you're in that range, then you'd be eligible to possibly win. Question two has to do with another kind of flight. This is an individual bird that was given the nickname moonbird. This individual bird, over the course of its lifetime, flew the distance throughout its migrations, flew such a great distance that it would, if you did it all at once, it would take you to the moon, hence the nickname moonbird. Our question is, what species is the moonbird? So that's question two. And finally, question three of the first round, the final question of the first round. What is the average size of an adult bog turtle? The bog turtle is the smallest turtle species in New Jersey. And so we're asking, what's the average size of the adult bog turtle? Again, if you're in range, then you'll be eligible to possibly win. So right now, if you'd like, if you have a good idea about one or two or all three of those answers, send us an email, again, trivia@conservewildlifenj.org, and put in the subject line wildlife, the brilliant name of our first category, and send it along. And before the night's through, we're going to announce each winner. And we're also going to give, and we'll also announce what the prize is for each of the 3-round winners. So there's your first round. And so after all that hard work, your brain's probably overheating, trying to get all the answers right. I think it's time we can all kick back and savor the incredible insights of 3 of our honorees from Women in Wildlife over the years, and them talking just about what it means to them. And let's start with Conserve Wildlife Foundation's founder and an award winner in her own right, Linda Tesoro.
Hi, everyone. I'm Linda Tesoro, the founder of the Conserve Wildlife Foundation of New Jersey. And I can't tell you how honored I am to be here today to say hello to all of you and to honor the 15th anniversary of the Women in Wildlife Awards. David Wheeler, the executive director right now, asked me to say a few words about the Conserve Wildlife Foundation, its history, how I got started, and about how we developed the Women in Wildlife Awards. I set up the Conserve Wildlife Foundation in 1998 as a way to support the state's endangered and non-game species program. At the time, their funding was only available through the sale of license plates and some federal grants. By setting up a nonprofit arm, it allowed us to increase resources to support the work of all these amazing biologists who are doing so much work to help ENT species. I'm really proud of that accomplishment, and after 22 years, I am thrilled that the organization is still going strong. In 2005, my staff and I were talking about the people that were out in the field, and we thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could have more women biologists? It seems that although most of the men were biologists working in the field, women were beginning to create that as a career, and we wanted to recognize that. So we started something called the Women in Wildlife Awards. And basically what it is, the objective is to honor women who have a passion and a dedication for conservation and to help animals. So in 15 years, we have recognized 44 amazing women from the fields of education, the nonprofit sector, administrators, leadership, legacy, and service. Those are our categories. And I'm proud to say that I had a wonderful opportunity in meeting many of these women over the years. For instance, an educator such as Dr. Brooke Maslow from Rutgers University. She teaches her students not only about conservation, but encourages them to go into that field and develop it as a career. Amazing biologists such as Kathy Clark, who basically her focus has been on eagles, ospreys, peregrine falcons, and other raptors. Kathy basically has really brought these raptors back from the brink of extinction. There's so many, I have to think about this. Mackenzie Hall. Mackenzie is experienced in bat colonies, grassland birds, and amphibians. And nobody can talk to Mackenzie for 5 minutes without being super excited and passionate about what she believes in and how she can share that experience and that feeling with other people. We've had vets, Dr. Erica Miller. When you think about a veterinarian who spends her time and devotes her time as a volunteer to help conduct eagle checks on eaglets and help with the banding. We have, who else do I have? There's so many that I want to bring up today. Wildlife rehabilitators, very important role. Person that comes to mind, of course, is Tracy Lever of Woodlands Wildlife Refuge. Tracy basically cares for injured and orphaned wildlife and takes care of them and releases them back into the wilds. We could not do without people like Tracy Lever. She's also part of the Black Bear program of the Division of Fish and Wildlife. It's been a tremendous experience to create this foundation over the years, and I never thought when I started it in June of 1998 it would be still around, to tell you the truth. But it is, and I am humbled by the work and the former executive directors that have run this organization to make great strides in helping New Jersey's amazing wildlife diversity. I should also share with you that I'm a winner as well of the Women in Wildlife Award 2011 for inspiration. And I can only hope that I can inspire you to support the Conserve Wildlife Foundation of New Jersey. Partnership is what it's all about. We support from the public, from companies, from other nonprofits. It's how we develop and grow. New Jersey is an amazing place. I don't live there anymore. I miss it very much. I want to let you know that. I'm living in Florida right now and enjoying the wildlife here. But there's nothing like home. And I wish you all very well, and thank you so much for joining us today for this special event to honor women and wildlife for the 15th award.
Hi, I'm Amy Green. And welcome to everybody. I wish I could see you in person. In 1998, my dear friend Linda Tesoro established the Conserve Wildlife Foundation because she saw the need for an organization to protect endangered and threatened wildlife species in New Jersey, like the bald eagle. Ever since then, its staff and volunteers have been protecting endangered species, protecting endangered species habitat, restoring it, and educating the public. When I learned of the organization, I immediately started supporting it, got red-headed woodpecker license plates for my fleet, and enjoyed it. Then in 2006, she came up with the idea of the Women in Wildlife Awards to recognize women who've excelled in this traditionally male-dominated field. And so I sponsored that event and have sponsored it every year since. In 2007, unbeknownst to me, my staff nominated me as a Woman in Wildlife recipient, and I won the Inspiration Award. Kathy Clark, state biologist, was my co-recipient. It caused me to reflect on my career, how it's been so important to me that I've inspired other biologists to excel in this career, both in my role as a professional biologist as well as a member of conservation organizations. And I was a little modest and humbled by the award, and I said, oh, I don't really need a trophy or something like that. But then when I saw the award was a framed photograph of an osprey in flight taken by Kathy Clark, I was all in. ever since, I've been on the committee to help select the award recipients, a very difficult task, and I've been very privileged to meet many of them over the years. More recently, I was invited and came onto the board of the Conserved Wildlife Foundation and helped MC the event the last few years. Got to meet some dignitaries and most importantly got to hobnob with my fellow conservationists. Sadly, we can't do that this year except virtually, so that's why I'm speaking to the camera today. But I urge you all to bid on auction items, donate money. My walls are covered with past things I've won at the auction, like a piping plover chick photo and a butterfly photo by the world famous photographer Ralph Tesaro. See you all next year.
Hi, my name's Diane Nickerson, and I'm from the Mercer County Wildlife Center, and I'd like to welcome you to the 2020 coronavirus version of the Women in Wildlife Awards. And this is actually the best I can do to get a live animal here this year. I started here at the Mercer County Wildlife Center in 1997 and have been here ever since. In 2008, I was invited to be a guest at the very first Women in Wildlife Awards that was held in Stockton at the Prowlesville Mill. And my mentor, one of my mentors, Hannah Southers, was being honored and did this wonderful talk about all the different hats she wore, and she brought a bag of hats and changed her hats out for everything that she did for birds in the state of New Jersey. Imagine my surprise 2 years later when I was honored with this award in 2008. And at that point, there had only been 4 winners before me. And I was so humbled to be part of that group of women that included Hannah and Kathy Clark, who were women that I just admired and wanted to be when I grew up, for all the time that I've been here in New Jersey. The awards have grown exponentially since then. We try to come every year. Usually we bring a feathered friend with us to make the evening a little more exciting. And it's been wonderful for me to see how many wonderfully talented women there are in this state, how many more accumulate every year and come to the state to work, and the impact that we're making on the environment and the native wildlife that's in the state of New Jersey. I'm very sorry we can't be together this year. I'll look forward to seeing all of you next year and hope we can all be in one place in 2021.
Wow. So great to hear from Diane, Amy, and Linda. What better way to capture the resilience and the leadership that has helped so many New Jersey species of wildlife recover and thrive again over the past few decades than hearing from them, all while they're supported, of course, by that bald eagle nodding in agreement. You know, they got it right. And a bald eagle, really, to me, it symbolizes all the best of the conservation movement here in New Jersey and beyond. You know, after all, this is a species that served as the poster child for the Endangered Species Act just a few decades ago, and a species that as recently as the early 80s, we just had one nest remaining in the state, and it failed year after year. And yet here we are today with well over 200 nesting pairs of bald eagles in New Jersey, a record high. And it's entirely a testament to not only the cleaner environment, but the hard work of scientists from the State Endangered and Non-Game Species Program and Conserved Wildlife Foundation. It's such a remarkable recovery. And to me, it rivals any conservation success story in the world. And it's happening right here in New Jersey. How was that? Did I get it? Did I get it right? Okay. That is one serious looking eagle. I had to really make sure I got the plug in for the eagle and its friends. And that photo, I just want to thank Kevin and Karen Biney, 2 of our best and most deeply dedicated eagle volunteers. Our team of eagle volunteers across the state is absolutely inspiring. And without our volunteers for eagles and for so many other wildlife species, we literally couldn't do a fraction of what we would do. And so the eagle is one of many species that we highlight in our auction. in our online auction that you can check out right after this event. If you see on your screen, you might see QR codes to the right. You might see in the description of the event below the video image, you can find links to the auction. And I invite you to check it out. It's an auction that's going to be going on through Sunday at 8 p.m. And go over there, check it out, place your bids. Make sure if you do bid, check back in a couple of days so nobody outbids you. But it's really a wide range of experiences, wildlife experiences with our biologists and other top naturalists around the state. It also includes absolutely stunning wildlife photography and nature art. It also includes a variety of adventures that you can take on your own or with family in museums, in aquariums, safaris, nature centers. So you have this wide range of experiences and items that you can come away from this auction, just like you could if it was a typical live Women in Wildlife event. So by all means, I urge you to check that out. And in the meantime, while you do have to wait a few days to find out if you've won any of the auction items, we can find out very soon if you are one of the winners from tonight's trivia challenge. So let's hop right back into your favorite trivia game, Wildlife in Jeopardy. And we're going to start with we're going to continue with category 2, which is called habitat. So in this category, we're also going to have 3 questions. And remember, this means a separate email that you can send in at the close of these 3 questions with your answers to have a chance to win. Our first question of round 2 has to do with a street called Beekman Road that every spring is closed for a few evenings, every early spring. And this road is located in East Brunswick. And so can you tell us why? Why is that road closed? Why is Beekman Road in East Brunswick closed every spring for a few evenings? That's question 1. Question 2 has to do with a priority state initiative whereby the state of New Jersey, the Division of Fish and Wildlife, and other agencies within the state leadership have identified a priority initiative called CHANGE, C-H-A-N-J. What is this referring to? And you could either tell us the acronym or you could just tell us what it's about. But what is CHANGE all about? That's question number 2. And finally, question number 3. It's a bit broader than the questions we've asked so far tonight. And it has to do with, of course, potentially the #1 threat to wildlife long-term, not only here in New Jersey, but across the country and across the world. And that's, of course, climate change. Unfortunately, there's a lot of correct answers here, so you're going to have quite a berth to guess right. But what are some of the impacts of climate change in terms of threatening New Jersey wildlife species? So as I mentioned, there's a number of different options. Don't feel like you have to name all of them. If you get one correct, then you're in the running for this round of questions. So as before, send us an email right now. To our email address, trivia@conservewildlifenj.org. In the subject line for this round, put habitat, and I wish you all the best of luck. And now I invite you to join us on a 6-minute video journey, a brand new video that captures the remarkable evolution of the environmental movement impacting wildlife here in New Jersey, as led by so many incredible female leaders from the infancy of this movement all the way through today. Enjoy.
I'm Linda Tesoro, the founder of the Conserve Wildlife Foundation of New Jersey and a recipient of a 2011 Women and Wildlife Award. Here in the Garden State, women have literally changed the landscape around us. They saved the Palisades from becoming a long line of high-rises. They kept the Great Swamp from being paved over, and they helped keep our skies alive with eagles and falcons, bats and butterflies, warblers and redknots. Extraordinary women have paved the way for today's female scientists, like those from Conserve Wildlife Foundation, working tirelessly to ensure that rare wildlife species always have a place in New Jersey. Despite conservation accomplishments we've made on a local level, historically women have faced an uphill climb in the fields of science. Because for every Marie Curie, countless others were dissuaded from pursuing scientific careers simply because they were female. That glass ceiling was shattered over time as scientists like Rachel Carson and Jane Goodall made their marks in ways that continue to influence future generations. Such progress remains uneven, however, with women making up only a quarter of those working in STEM: science, technology, engineering, and math. However, the trend in conservation biologists, we're pleased to say, is now over 50% women. And nowhere have women taken a more valuable role in protecting wildlife than right here in New Jersey, despite facing formidable challenges. Beginning in the 1970s, New Jersey's wildlife and environment faced overwhelming odds. The growth of our metropolitan corridor in many ways was fueled by the chemical, energy, and pharmaceutical industries. And with that heavy industry, it left the state with a disproportionate number of Superfund sites and coastal waters that were heavily polluted and destroying aquatic life. Along with rampant habitat destruction, we put our wildlife in jeopardy, nearly wiping out populations of bobcats, wood turtles, peregrine falcons, eagles, and countless other imperiled species. The nonprofit Conserve Wildlife Foundation launched its Women in Wildlife Awards 15 years ago to celebrate female leaders and their accomplishments, and to inspire more women to enter the field of environmental science. We are proud to say that the Women in Wildlife Awards have recognized 44 extraordinary women over the years: biologists, wildlife rehabilitators, conservation officers, educators, advocates, land stewards, and more, whose tireless and innovative work brought wildlife back from the brink. Their stories continue to resonate today, and their projects continue to pay it forward into species that have reclaimed their places in our landscape. Today, as the bobolink, the bog turtle, and red knot struggle to hang on, they are fortified by the work of our award winners and other dedicated professionals. Other species have made unparalleled recoveries, such as the piping plover, bobcat, bald eagle, peregrine falcon, and osprey, strengthened by innovative approaches of our many conservation leaders. The progress we have made in the field, or more accurately, the forests, the skies, the salt marsh, the grasslands, and the mountains, is mirrored by the dedicated efforts of New Jersey women to help our beautiful state's wildlife recover and, most importantly, to thrive. As a testament to the impact of these female leaders, the annual Women in Wildlife Awards event has taken on even greater visibility over the years, with such keynote speakers as the current First Lady Tammy Murphy, New Jersey DEP Commissioner Catherine McCabe, and Governors Christie Todd Whitman, James Florio, Tom Kane, and other luminaries who believe in the mission of Conserve Wildlife Foundation. We are so thankful to them and to the corporate and individual sponsors who have made these annual events possible. 15 years in, those past winners today serve as role models and mentors for countless young wildlife leaders, female and male alike. Their leadership and their legacies continue to inspire us all, women who have made the Garden State so much greener for wildlife and for all of us who call New Jersey home. So, look for those living legacies the next time you're outdoors. It's in the mighty eagles soaring overhead, the shrill chorus of spring peepers on an April evening, the heartwarming vision of a monarch flitting past, and that touch of untamed spirit we feel from just knowing that the bobcat is roaming the wilds of this amazing state. To learn more about how you can support the Women in Wildlife Awards, please visit conservewildlifenj.org.
It's a true Hall of Fame feeling to see all of our Women in Wildlife honorees in one video, and especially when it's aptly and incredibly narrated by Linda Tesoro and crisply edited by Matt Wozniak. Those winners have certainly made their mark on New Jersey's wildlife, but they also have left a deep legacy on the biologists and conservationists who continue to do work. And it's been a very personal impact on them as well. And we see a lot of that impact on their work as we move forward with our own biologists at Conserve Wildlife Foundation. Their own commitment and dedication to the wildlife that they work to protect is absolutely unparalleled. It ranges from trudging through the boot-sucking muck of bogs in search of bog turtles, to fighting off the greenhead flies and mosquitoes of the salt marsh, to spending long nights in the darkened depths of the pine barrens, to devoting tireless hours of their heart and soul to make sure that the wildlife they work to protect has a fighting chance to survive and one day thrive again. And it's just a testament to their commitment that this work is able to build on its progress and success every year. Likewise, our educators are able to connect with so many people of all ages, adults, young and old, and so many students, typically in the classroom, as well as in teacher trainings and on field trips. In 2020, more so virtually, but they're making it work and they're continuing to make those impacts, making children enjoy learning about wildlife, helping them feel confident in areas of science, and work with teams to problem solve, even virtually. And of course, working in many cases, working with students to help foster their love of science and fields in STEM or STEAM, so that they too may one day pursue careers in that. To recognize the hard work of our scientists and educators, I invite you to consider supporting Conserve Wildlife Foundation with a donation, either tonight through PayPal or potentially mailing one at your convenience. Your support really does go such a long way. It makes all of the work we do possible. Projects that without your support, there's no way we could do all the projects we do on species ranging from bats and bobcats and bog turtles to ospreys, warblers, and beach nesting birds, to terrapins, tree frogs, and pollinators. It's such a wide range of species and a wide range of habitats and challenges that are ever evolving, and that our biologists are able to figure out innovative ways to approach them, working with our incredible partners everywhere from federal and state agencies and local agencies to other nonprofits, to universities and schools, to business owners and individuals. It's an absolutely incredible team that we're so happy to be a key part of. And when it comes to rare and at-risk wildlife, our biologists are truly leading the way. So I do invite you to consider making a donation tonight. And that brings us to our final category, of course, the famed final Wildlife in Jeopardy category. And perhaps you can guess the answer to this one. If you were paying close attention, which I know you all were during the video, you may be able to answer this question. How many Women in Wildlife honorees have been recognized by Conserve Wildlife Foundation? So either you heard it in the video and it's an easy answer, or perhaps you're one of those people who didn't hear it, but you saw all the images and in your head, you're calculating just how many people we showed up there on screen, and you're gonna guess the right answer too. So for you, next time we have to guess how many jelly beans are in the jar at the next office party or trade show, I'm coming to you so you can help me win that. In the meantime, send an email right now, as with the first two rounds, to trivia@conservewildlifenj.org. In this one, put Final Jeopardy or final question in the subject, we'll know as soon as we see your correct answer. We'll know exactly what it's about anyway. And so now let's hear directly from some of those biologists that have been influenced and have really been impacted on a personal and professional level by those honorees that came before. And we're going to hear from 3 Conserve Wildlife Foundation biologists right now.
Hi, I'm Larissa Smith, and I've been working for the Conserve Wildlife Foundation New Jersey since 2000. One of the main projects I work on is the New Jersey Bald Eagle Project. I coordinate the volunteers who help us monitor the nest, and I also work on a lot of other projects such as shorebird stewards, osprey, and tiger salamander. And the Women in Wildlife Awards have always been very important to Conserve Wildlife Foundation, and all the past winners are really inspirational women, and I know many of them professionally and personally, and they are role models for women working in this field. I myself have worked closely with 2 of the past winners over the past 20 years, Kathy Clark and Dr. Erica Miller, and we all work on the Bald Eagle Project together. And Kathy is the lead biologist with the project. I have learned so much from her over the years, and she is definitely a hard worker and an inspiration. And Dr. Erica Miller is also a role model for me and somebody I can always go to and ask questions. The New Jersey Bald Eagle Project has really grown over the past 20 years, and it's definitely due to their leadership as well as the great volunteers that we work with. We have about 100 volunteers right now working on the Eagle Project, and this year, 2020, was the highest recorded number of young eagles that fledged. There was 307 young birds that fledged, and it's due to all the women that have been working on the project over the years, and I'm grateful to be surrounded by these strong women.
Hi everyone, my name is Allegra Mitchell, and I'm a biologist with the Conserve Wildlife Foundation of New Jersey. I've been with CWF for about 4.5 years, and I mainly study reptiles and amphibians. I have had the absolute pleasure of getting to work with Chris Shantz and Mackenzie Hall with New Jersey's Endangered Non-Game Species Program. They are both amazing women, and they're so knowledgeable in their fields. Chris's passion for her species is truly inspirational, and she's taught me so much about snake biology and habitat management, and she was actually the one that established the Amphibian Crossing Project, which is a program that has changed hands to some amazing women, including Mackenzie, and has passed down along to me. And Mackenzie especially has been just so supportive in transitioning me into project manager for that program. And she's still working really hard for our amphibian friends to secure funding and prepare for the construction of an under-road wildlife passage system. So I'm just so lucky that I've gotten to know them and gotten to work with them and learn from them especially. And their Women in Wildlife Awards were very well deserved.
Hello, my name is Nicole Porter, and I'm a biologist with the Conserve Wildlife Foundation of New Jersey. I first met Sharon Petzinger and Gretchen Foles when I worked at the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection in the Endangered Species and Non-Game Program. There, Gretchen worked on the Bobcat Project and the Wood Rat Reintroduction Project, as well as the Change Program, otherwise known as Connecting Habitats Across New Jersey. Since working at Conserve Wildlife Foundation, I have worked with Gretchen on occasion in integrating some of the Change products to help identify essential areas for habitat restoration and assist in selecting some of the selecting restoration projects to fund. Change products help determine key core habitats and corridors that wildlife commonly use to transverse the landscape, and can also identify areas in greatest need of wildlife crossing structures. Gretchen has played a vital role in the production of these products as well as promoting the Change program. She has kickstarted the movement in New Jersey to reconnect fragmented habitats throughout by the use of crossing structures, which have had a huge impact to a multitude of species. This program has also had a part in the state and Conserve Wildlife Foundation working together to monitor Waterloo Road, which is a big amphibian crossing, pre and post installation of a crossing structure. At Conserve Wildlife Foundation, I often work with Sharon Petzinger in visiting sites that are potentially restorable for habitat for the golden winged warbler. Sharon uses her expertise to identify suitability for the species, as well as many other young forest habitat species. Sharon brings her knowledge on how to best restore the sites and determines areas with the highest probability of success. She regularly educates private landowners and the public on the species and the benefits of habitat restorations for many different bird species. Sharon has played a huge part in expanding suitable habitat, which was a major rarity on the landscape. Let me tell you something about these two women. They have heart, fight, passion for what they do. If you don't believe me, try keeping up with Gretchen as she gambles up huge boulders to track a wood rat. She is akin to a mountain goat. That is what we would say is a woman on a mission. Or Sharon, who gets up at the crack of dawn for weeks to do a bird count survey. This just gives a small glimpse into the hard work and dedication they have. They were both mentors to me in the beginning of my career and have inspired me throughout my journey. As an employee of CWF, I am truly lucky I have been able to work with them and continue to work with them through partnerships.
Thank you to Larissa, Allegra, and Nicole for sharing their own experiences with all the incredible women who have been honored by Women in Wildlife and who have led the way in wildlife conservation here in New Jersey. This time next year, I hope for all of us to be gathered together in person, safely and socially, however it's possible, to celebrate women in wildlife in the more traditional way. And it's certainly not too soon for any of you watching to start thinking about other female leaders who have yet to be honored, and there's no shortage out there. But if you have a candidate in mind, start thinking about that. And by May, we will have opened up the nominating process for 2021's Women in Wildlife honorees. And I encourage you to contact us to learn more about how to make a nomination. For now, unfortunately, we'll have to be satisfied with different kind of winners, and this will be fun in its own right. This will be our inaugural Wildlife in Jeopardy trivia geniuses who will soon be receiving prizes from Conserve Wildlife Foundation. And let's start with the first category, wildlife. And the answers for those of you out there with your checklists, feel free to fill them out as we go along. That first answer is approximately 200 miles an hour. Anything in the 180 to 220 range would have been more than acceptable. So around 200 miles an hour, that the peregrine falcon, the fastest animal on Earth, dive bombs after prey. The second question, the moonbird is a red knot. There are incredible migrations in the case of moonbird and many red knots all the way from the furthest south tip of South America, Tierra del Fuego, all the way up to New Jersey, and then all the way up to the Arctic, and then all the way back again. Absolutely legendary global migrations by this species that calls New Jersey the centerpiece of its global migration. And the other question, 4.5 inches for the bog turtle. And for those of you who answered using the metric system, we did all the conversions. You're absolutely eligible too if you were right on the metric side. We don't want to, we open-minded that way. And so without further ado, I have in my hand the winner and the Oscar for best performance. Our Wildlife in Jeopardy first round contestant is Mary Lenahan. Congratulations, Mary. Thank you for playing. And you will win a personalized signed book, Wild New Jersey, Nature Adventures in the Garden State, that hopefully will inspire you to find your own and create your own wildlife adventures in this incredible state that we live in. And thank you for playing. Round two. Round two, of course, is the habitat round. And the answers we'll start with it there as well. Beekman Road in East Brunswick is closed every early spring for a few nights for an amphibian crossing. Salamanders and frogs crossing in massive numbers when all the conditions are right. The ground thaws, we have some moisture and rain in the air, the temperatures hit that level they need to be at, and everything's right, and they're able to go on the move. Without those road closures, not only there, but in many places, particularly around vernal pool areas around the state, we lose countless amphibians every spring and potentially lose entire populations without those road closures. So for those of you who got that right, we had one guess to help the chicken get to the other side, and it was a close, but it is the amphibians we want to get to the other side. Thank you though for that guess that was oh so close. The second question is that the state initiative change is connecting habitat across New Jersey. It's all about wildlife corridors, and it's about helping in our deeply fragmented state with more roads and highways than just about anywhere else in the country, bisecting our state in so many ways. It's helping wildlife cross those safely, and doing that through planning, and when we do bridge and road overhauls, creating culverts and other and overpasses and other things that can help wildlife cross safely, and also just creating more connectivity between. And it's a completely voluntary program, a great initiative by the state. That Conserve Wildlife Foundation and many groups around the state are eagerly participating and promoting. The third and final question of this challenge was about climate change impacts. As I mentioned, there's no shortage. Everything from more strong storms to sea level rise, warmer temperatures, saltwater intrusion, the list goes on and on. Unfortunately, there really is no shortage of impacts to wildlife in New Jersey, and it's one of the biggest threats that our biologists and so many others are working on as we move forward. And so, for round two, the habitat round, I have the winner here, and the first pick in the 2020 CWF draft, Claudia Rocca. Congratulations, Claudia. And you will win a Conserve Wildlife Foundation shirt. Unfortunately for you, it wouldn't be this exact one, but you'll win a new one. So hopefully you're okay with that. And thank you to everyone for playing in that round. We had so many great answers. And of course, our last round, the final Wildlife in Jeopardy. And that question was a very simple one. How many women have we honored through Women in Wildlife over the years? And the answer is 44. So all of you who looked it up really quickly and sent in the answer, congrats, you did a great job. And it looks like Nevada has just counted another 13 votes. They're up to 50 votes 3 weeks into the election. Oh, sorry, wrong live stream. The winner is Tracy Weaver. Tracy, congratulations. You got it right. And as a former winner, I'm especially impressed. Tracy has done so much amazing work rehabilitating wildlife with Woodlands Wildlife Refuge. Thank you, Tracy, and thank you everyone who took part in Wildlife in Jeopardy trivia. And I now want to just conclude by thanking a number of different people. I want to start with thanking, on behalf of the Conserve Wildlife Foundation board and staff, I want to thank our lead sponsor, PSEG, who really made this event possible, as well as our other key sponsors, Weeks Marine, Hudson Farm, and our board trustee, Amy Green, who sponsored this in honor of her late husband, John Bell. Thank you, Amy. And thank you to each of those lead sponsors. I also want to thank all of our sponsors for making tonight possible, as well as all of those companies and individuals and organizations that donated auction items. That was also a huge help, and I think people will particularly enjoy considering which ones they want to bid on in the next few days. I also want to thank, of course, all the Women in Wildlife honorees who really are the centerpiece for this, and I can't wait to see all of you again next year. And I want to thank Conserve Wildlife Foundation's Board of Trustees for all the hard work they did behind the scenes in making tonight possible, and also making all the work we do possible. Without your involvement and leadership, we would be in for a much greater challenge. And of course, our staff is, in my mind, unparalleled and absolutely the hardest working and most talented staff around. And I especially want to thank Liz Silvernail, who puts together Women in Wildlife every year, and this year had the special challenge of somehow making it all work virtually. Ethan Gilardi, who has been absolutely irreplaceable behind the scenes, manning the production desk as if he's running a TV studio with all these different streams and things going on. And as far as I know, he did it flawlessly. You may tell me afterwards that you guys couldn't see anything the whole time and this was all a blank screen, in which case you wouldn't hear this anyway, so it's fine. I want to thank our other staff who also really made tonight possible. Matt Wozniak, our video producer, did a great job under challenging circumstances in putting together the video. Morgan Mark helped with so many graphics. They did a terrific job on that. Our other staff, everyone from Ben Wurst and Todd Pover, Megan Koch, Megan Lyon, and all of our staff, Stephanie D'Alessio, everyone played such a key role, whether directly in the Women in Wildlife event or simply in doing what we do at Conserve Wildlife Foundation and protecting the wildlife that needs it most and connecting people with that wildlife. And of course, I want to thank New Jersey DEP, particularly Jonathan Carlucci and Matt Henchek, who were very generously helped out in providing content of some of the Women in Wildlife winners. So thank you, Jonathan and Matt. And most of all, I want to thank all of our supporters. Without you, not only tonight, but throughout the year, being able to support us, whether it's through contributions, whether it's through being involved and following us online, whether it's through volunteering, all of it is such a vital and integral part of what we do. And without that, again, we would only be able to do a fraction of what we are right now. So thank you so much. We truly appreciate your support. And with that, we'll bring this virtual Women in Wildlife event to a close. Have a great night, and I cannot wait to see all of you next year when we go back live and in person, right? That's what we're going to do next year. And I will see you then, and we'll all have a drink and enjoy catching up together. Thank you and good night.